Okay, so I'm going to try to explain everything. This is a quick test run. All right, so let's give you a quick look at this. This is basically your Big Bang, the Earth, all different religions, philosophy, math, psychology, science. There'll be the secret societies over there. But here's the story. All right, we'll jump between science and religion. In the beginning is God. All God, only God, nothing else but God. All knowing, but I'll leave that to the side. I ask people, if in the beginning was only God and only God, what did he make everything out of? And a lot of people will say, well, he's God, he can make it out of anything. But there is no anything, there's no nothing, there's only God or that energy that permeates. So God makes everything out of himself because there's no other energy. So here's all your stars and planets and everything. And it's very interesting that right now science is basically saying that the whole universe is conscious. So every atom, proton, photon, whatever, is aware of its being observed. So the entire universe is conscious, which is all the planets, stars, table, chair, the computer, everything right now, including you, your arms, your legs, your hair, your ears, whatever. Which means if the entire universe and everything material is conscious, what is the only thing that's not conscious? You. Your ego or your thought or the abstract, the identity of you. So basically, all God, only God, the entire universe is conscious. That's me and you being born. So we're still connected to the infinite, eternal, and timeless. And that's very, very, very important to remember. The difference between oneness and basically two-ness or duality. The reason that God or the universe is, multiverse I guess, is oneness, is because things that are eternal, infinite, and timeless can only express through oneness because they cannot be counted or quantified. Eternal, infinite, and timeless. The second there's something second, you can quantify. Hot and cold, left and right, me and you, up and down, black and white, whatever you want to say. So that is me and you being born. And now this is us moving through time. And basically what you have here is, that's the eternal or the infinite, or God basically splicing time. The quick example is if this is the eternal now, so that's God, it would take you time to hear that, it takes you time to see that, and then it takes you time to react, whether emotionally or intellectually. So here's the eternal now, and there's you within your dimension of time. There's the now, and there's you. And now you think you're actually traveling through time and you've constructed it. I'm going to mention something very quickly about time. If we look at our watch or nowadays phone and you look at the time, we would think that we're sharing the same time. That's a partial truth. The greater truth, though, is that we all have our own individual relationship with time. So I have my relationship with time, you would have your relationship with time, another person has their relationship with time. This is a very simple concept. If I was to die right now, my relationship with time would end. Yours would continue, everyone else's would continue. Vice versa, if somebody else passed away, their relationship with time ends, ours continues. That's key because basically, it's not your physical body. Your ego or your basically identity, your thought, is linked to time. They're entangled. So now I've kind of skewed the board and turned it a bit because then we start moving through time and we lose our connection to the infinite, the eternal, the divine, and then basically we're stuck solely within time. What needs to happen is someone basically needs to create a singularity, which I'll go into, and they would splice time, and then they would reconnect to that infinite internal energy. So this is interesting. So say this is your Big Bang here. Now science is saying that it takes 13.8 billion years for the universe to form. This is the whole Adam and Eve thing. They 6,000 years ago, so a little bit off. But anyway, here's my question to science. If there was nobody here for 13 billion years, and this wasn't being observed or quantified, then how do you know that time existed? So I'm not dismissing your calculation on the expansion of the universe. But what if time didn't exist and it wasn't what you thought? What I'm going to say about this is, imagine tonight when you go to sleep and you have a dream. Does your dream take 13.8 billion years to form tonight? No, it does not. It instantaneously comes into being. So, little religious quibble here. If we're made in the image of God, don't think of the guy with the white hair and the beard. That's our image in reverse. His image, being invisible, would be consciousness. So imagine the image of God is consciousness. So tonight, if I have a dream, if this was actually a dream right now, I'm in the dream, if there's anyone else in the dream, the entire dream, the table, the chairs, everything, would all be my consciousness. I would be acting in my dream first person. And I'm only aware of myself in a normal dream where there's not astral travel and lucid dreaming and all this other stuff. But in my dream, I'm first person. I'm not controlling you in my dream, but you're still part of my entire consciousness. So what I want to consider for you to consider is, whether you believe in God or not, the universe, listen, if I'm a product of the universe and there's no God, and I have thought intelligence, not saying I'm intelligent, but imagine there's a semblance of consciousness and intelligence, that had to be coded into the universe to begin with for it to be here right now. So basically, if I can have a dream as a product of the universe, is the universe capable of having a dream? Now, going back to God, imagine that this is all God's dream. Now, in our dream, there's a main character. In God's dream, imagine the main character doesn't come in till the end. So what would have to happen is out of 8 billion of us, one of us would have to wake up. And we would wake up to a point of consciousness and oneness, which is beyond identity, duality, and the projection of self. And that would basically entangle itself within the universe. So imagine, whether it's Adam and Eve or anyone, universe is being formed, but on an eternal infinite scale, maybe more as a wave function as opposed to a particle, if you're talking your double slit experiment. So if this 13 billion years plus was functioning as a wave, and then one of us, not thought, but to become aware of your thought, self-aware, you basically, an individual would have quantified themselves. And then imagine the entire universe came into existence, or imagine God's dream came into manifest. When I say this is a dream or a game, it's not to diminish the pain and suffering. But imagine in a certain way, it's not real. Because the reality hasn't woken up yet. And the truth hasn't been revealed into the world in its fullness. And we can wake up from that instantaneously. What I'm talking about is basically one of us, in one move, taking the whole world. And it's already done, and it would already be over.